Hey y'all, what is up? So I decided last minute to just do this video for y'all because I thought it would be really cool to understand where Can't Break a Queen came from, where it all started, and what's the meaning behind my EP, Can't Break a Queen. So for those of you who don't know, Can't Break a Queen, my EP, came out on July 10th. So please go listen to it. I want to know your favorite track. It has been out and people are loving it. It's on every single streaming platform. Go to your favorite and listen and let me know what you think. So let's go ahead and start with the backstory. What happened before Can't Break a Queen? I was in a relationship for 4 years and we were engaged. We were actually supposed to be getting married September 1st of 2018. That didn't happen. He actually canceled the wedding 2 weeks before the wedding day. Wasn't good. So Can't Break a Queen is about the motions and the phases that I went through after the breakup. I want to go through every single song with you and let you know where I was, what was going on through my head at the time that I wrote the song, and in the order that I did write them. So let's get into that now. Okay, so Can't Break a Queen is actually the very first song that I wrote for this project. It also happens to be the single. It was very fitting for what the rest of the songs were about. Can't Break a Queen was a song about empowerment. I felt very empowered. I moved out. Me and my girls got our own place, my very first place by myself, which was a big deal for me. And this song set the tone for the rest of the project. So second, I wrote Bossin' Up. Bossin' Up was a song that I wrote because I was feeling like a boss bitch, okay? I had just got a new job, making a lot more money than I was making before when I was in that relationship. And it was confirmation for me that I didn't need him anymore. So I was very proud of myself. Okay, so of course that moment that I was in where I felt like I was on top of the world, things were going great, and I felt very proud of myself. It didn't last long. I got into a very depressed state, a very lonely state, because I had been with this man for 4 years, and now all of a sudden I wasn't. I was by myself, and that was different for me. Around that same time, I actually lost my best friend. No, she didn't die, but I did lose her as a friend. And losing those two people in my life really hurt bad. And that is when I wrote Enough Love, where I started to think that maybe if I was loved enough, I wouldn't have been in the position that I was in. And Enough Love actually is a full song, which is crazy, but I put it as an intro and I cut all the rest of the song out because it just fit as an intro and people love it as an intro, so I'm very glad that I made that decision to do that. But if one day y'all want me to release the full song, let me know. I would definitely consider doing so because it's really good. So after Enough Love, I wrote Keep It Up. I went through a lot of different phases after that breakup where I was looking to fill a void. So of course the song is talking about sex. I had to make it relatable and something that would fit into the music scene now. But of course it can be talking about anything: alcohol, drugs, food, any kind of addiction that's not good for you. And going through this phase, I didn't want to face reality, my reality of now yet again being a single mother. And I say yet again because my ex is not my children's father, but he is the only father that they knew. So it was really hard to accept my reality that my kids lost not one dad, but two. So trying to escape that reality was another phase and another part of my life that I'm glad that I am not going through anymore. but it is good that I did go through it and I got through it. So it was during this phase that I really started to resent my ex. After having the time to reminisce about all the good and all the bad things, I think that the idea of having to start all over and just all of the things that made our relationship toxic, I think that our relationship started to tank the minute that it actually started. And it took me until after we broke up to figure that out. It was only a couple of months into our relationship where I was given an ultimatum. I was really starting to get back into music at that time, and nothing was out, but I was writing, I was meeting with people, trying to get into the studio, doing anything that I could, doing photo shoots, but it was something I really wanted to do, just like now. But at the time, I had 2 kids still. They were toddlers. I want to say Brooke had to have only been like 2 and Peyton was like 1. Or no, Brooke was 3. Brooke was 3 and Peyton was 2. And I was working at Starbucks as a barista. So I wasn't making a whole lot of money. And he gave me the ultimatum to either go to school or pretty much we weren't going to be together. He wanted somebody who could contribute financially. And he wanted me to go to school for something that would in turn make us more money, so that I could be a reliable partner. He didn't believe in the whole music thing, not like I did. It was really discouraging for me. It hurt my feelings, but at the end of the day, obviously, I did. I gave up music. I wasn't singing. I wasn't writing anymore. I barely even listened to music around him. So like when singers tell y'all, like, this is our lives, that is exactly what we mean. Like, I don't even know where I would be without it. It's the only way I get my emotions out. It's the only way I express myself in a healthy way. So for me to allow somebody to take that from me is where we started to plunker. But I loved him so much, and I didn't even know I resented him until later. All the fights and the constant bickering and me being angry all the time. I won't say all the time. We had some happy moments, but it was still a very toxic relationship. On top of the constant criticism, I was always the reason for why something in our relationship wasn't working. He would never take ownership for anything, and that, on top of everything else, drove me literally insane. So it was at this point that I wrote Never Good Enough, and it's very self-explanatory. It is exactly what it sounds like. I was in a relationship where I felt like I was never going to ever be good enough for this man, no matter how hard I tried. And that's not a good feeling, and that's not a good way to be in a relationship. And I think after a while I started to understand that, and it started to play a really big toll on my mental state, honestly. So as time has gone on and I started to get over all of these things and get back to trying to get back to the dating scene, I guess you can call it, but I never really dated anybody, but I have tried to get back out there and talk to people and get to know people, and that is around the time that I wrote Don't Come For Me. I was at a point where I was ready to take things very slow. I didn't want to rush into anything. I didn't want to make any empty promises, because at the end of the day, I still was not ready. I wasn't ready to be in a relationship. I wasn't ready to make a commitment to somebody and give that part of me up again. But some people would come at me sideways and come at me wrong, and not like the song talks about. Like, the song is super dramatic and talks about like guys telling me off, which that's never happened, but it has gotten to a point where I felt really disrespected because I would express that I wasn't ready. I would let them know what it was. There was no miscommunicating that ever. But they would get their feelings involved before I did, and they got the short end of the stick because I wasn't willing to give up anything, as I stated before anything even happened. So that is where Don't Come For Me came from. And that was actually the very last song that I wrote on this project. Okay, so all of y'all are wondering what's coming next. And I have tons of surprises for y'all. So if you haven't already noticed, I've been kind of doing a lot of collabs here and there. It's been so much fun working with these artists from Cleveland because Cleveland has a lot of talent. So if you don't already know it, which you should, just by seeing all the people that I've been working with, but it's mind-boggling that there's been this much talent here, and I'm just now getting hip. I have more collabs coming, so stay tuned for those. But I also have something super exciting planned for y'all for the holidays. I'm not gonna spill the beans, but just know it is going to be coming very, very, very soon. So I'm excited for y'all to tune into that. But overall, I have been working on the next project. I plan to make an entire album for y'all this time, not just an EP, but an entire album. And I am so excited because I've already started writing, I've already been in the studio, and these songs are dope. And I cannot wait to share them with y'all. And there was one other thing that I wanted to share with y'all that I think is important. Us as artists write music to touch lives. And that is exactly why I write music. That is exactly what got me into the music industry, is that I want to be able to write something that helps somebody else. There was this one young lady, I will not tell you her name just to keep her privacy, but she reached out to me and let me know how my song has helped her heal. And as an artist, that is the best thing that I could ever heard anybody say. The goal is not to have everybody say it. All I need is one person. I need it to touch one person and help somebody. And it meant a lot to me for her to tell me that my song has helped her heal the way that it's helped me heal. So thank you. You know who you are. I just wanted you to know that it meant more than you could imagine, honestly. So thank you. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because I'm gonna get emotional.